Hi there, welcome to Learning Unit 1, Collaborative BIM to achieve nZEB. This learning unit is intended to introduce the basics of BIM methodology and nZEB. We will talk about BIM standards, exploitation of BIM model, etc. These concepts are needed in order to prepare all the students to the following learning units that will work in depth some of the topics that Learning Unit 1 introduce. The Learning Unit 1 is planned with a number of short theoretical explanations of topics followed by a set of practical problem-based solving activities using BIM and other tools. Assessment is carried out using individual and group work, taking into account discussions, short presentations, video review, BIM activity, self-study, and quizzes. The Learning Unit 1 has 8 hours of structured learning and 12 hours of self-directed learning. The objectives of the Learning Unit 1 are: create a collaborative workflow between all construction team members using BIM. Identify the role and responsibilities of each construction team member. Identify the building regulations and principles applicable to achieve nZEB. The outcomes of the Learning Unit 1 are: link project needs with potential BIM users. Identify local regulations regarding nZEB. Integrate nZEB design into a BIM project workflow, and apply strategies to enhance collaboration through BIM in projects. The content of the Learning Unit 1 is divided in 5 sections. The first one is Introduction, the second one is nZEB Fundamentals, the third one is BIM Fundamentals, the fourth one is nZEB and BIM, and the last one is BIM Collaboration. The learning method assessment will be split in two, theoretical and practical, according to the nature of the competences, knowledge, and skills that are going to be evaluated. The theoretical part is divided in 4 quizzes, each one with a value of 15%, while the practical part is divided in 2 tasks, each one with a value of 20%. The quizzes will be done through Kahoot platform or through the Moodle, depending on the teacher's preference, and the quizzes will be done at the end of each sub-learning unit. For that reason, it is important to pay attention during the whole class. The tasks will be developed during class time, following the instructions of the professor. The software for Learning Unit 1. To complete this learning unit, it is important to ensure that the correct software is installed. Step-by-step instructions will be provided, and all software should be installed on your laptop, tablet, or mobile phone. We will be using Navisworks software for task 1.4. While for the quizzes, we will be using Kahoot or the Moodle, depending on the teacher's preference. Welcome to the Moodle for the Learning Unit 1. Collaborative BIM to achieve nZEB. The first thing we have is a forum. Here the announcements will be placed. Then we have the 5 sections that I explained before. Each section is available in both English and Spanish. In the first section, the introduction, we have the presentation that I just explained to you, and we have some information about the required software. As I told you before, we will be using Navisworks and Kahoot. Here we have the link to the Kahoot test. Here we have the second unit. This unit is nZEB Fundamentals. The first thing that we have is the presentation. In this presentation, we will talk about the basis for understanding the need for nZEB, regulatory framework, and key terms. We will talk about some concepts like climate change or global warming, and also about some European policies and legislations. Below the presentation, we have the first quiz. And as I already told you, this quiz might be done with the Moodle or with Kahoot. The teacher will inform you. This is the third section titled BIM Fundamentals. In this presentation, we will do an introduction to BIM fundamentals, how the methodology applies to projects, standards, and basic concepts for a successful implementation. We will talk about BIM background. We will compare CAD versus BIM, and we'll also talk about the BIM roles among other concepts. Then we have some sample models. Those are for you to download. And the next thing we have is an open discussion. This is a forum, and it is about the level of development. And you need to discuss about the following question. Do you think that it is essential to model every single element in a one-to-one scale within a BIM model? We also have the first task. This is a task 1.2. And in this task, we will introduce a hypothetical case in which a promoter wants to implement BIM in a project to enhance some objectives or needs. So the student must analyze the objectives or needs, and with the support of the BIM uses developed by PSU, define which uses, resources, and training the project team must have in order to achieve the objectives set by the employer. Here we have the statement, and you will need to upload your work right here in this task. And the last thing we have is the quiz number 2, BIM fundamentals. This is the fourth section, nZEB and BIM. Again, the first thing we have is a presentation. Here, we will talk about how nZEB can join BIM to improve the results regarding energy efficiency. We will also talk about what responsibilities and who must take the responsibilities to integrate nZEB within a BIM project workflow. Also, in this section, we can find the third quiz that will be done at the end of this unit. This is the last section that we have. It is entitled BIM Collaboration. In this presentation, we will talk about collaboration fundamentals, internal versus external collaboration, workflow, roles and responsibilities, and exchanging format, among other concepts. Then, at the end of this section, we have the last quiz about BIM collaboration and the last task about the same topic. If we go to the end of the Moodle of the Learning Unit 1, we will find some resources. In this section, you can find 5 different documents that might help you to get a better understanding on the topics studied previously. The first document that we have is about level of development, specification part 1. The second one talks about building information modeling, standard protocol for use in projects using building information models. The next one is about specification for information management for the capital delivery phase of construction projects using building information modeling. Then we have a document about employers' information requirement. And the last one that we have is about the uses of BIM, classifying and selecting BIM uses. This is the Moodle for Learning Unit 1. And thank you for watching. And if you have any doubt, don't hesitate to contact with us. Thank you so much.